Okay, gentlemen, you ready? Good evening and welcome to a presentation of Table Rock Sports. Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore. It is senior night as the Challengers close out their 2021 regular season. And we've rarely seen a situation where they've had so much on the line at the end of the regular season. But tonight, essentially, both of these teams, the Challengers and the Bulldogs, are playing for a playoff spot. And more than likely, of course, there's a lot to sort out and won't even attempt to at this moment. But in all likelihood, the team that comes up short tonight, this is probably the end of their season. And the Challengers haven't missed the postseason, and I don't know how long, and they would rather start there. Tonight is also senior night, and our cameraman, Jared Thomas, has that pointed over at our gentlemen, a small senior class this year. And on our football team, even those numbers are whittled down by the fact that we have 3 Challenger seniors out with injuries. But we do want to give a shout-out to some of the guys. I think first guy I want to think of is Bryson Cannon. Bryson Cannon, we've watched him steadily grow into his role. He's been a lineman all through his high school career with Cascade Christian. Not a particularly big guy in terms of weight at 200 pounds, but he's long and lean. And having had him as a student, he's just one of those guys that just quietly just goes out and does his job and doesn't give you any trouble. And then along with that, Austin Waits. Austin he came in much like Bryson Cannon and much like a couple of our other Challenger seniors. He came in an early bloomer. He started out as a 6'1" freshman, saw a few snaps, and then as his career has gone on, this last spring as a junior, he was a part of the Challengers passing game. We've also seen him grow tremendously as a defender at linebacker and a big contributor. And he seems to be, when Keith Reed really needs a first down, that Austin Waits is the first guy that he looks to. Now, Austin is senior at 6'2", 240 pounds, regarded perhaps as one of the best young tight ends in the state. Along with that, we have a young kid that transferred in last year, wasn't able to play football, didn't get here in time, but he's come in, and now he's playing a key role with some injuries to the Challengers, and that is Zachary Mackenzie Cook, who went to school over at South Medford, came over to the Challengers. Jackson Turi went down early in the season, and Zach has been coming in and playing along that line. And again, a tribute to the job that guys like he and Bryson and some of the younger fellows along that line do, that they just go out and do their job well. And we rarely talk about a situation where Keith is having to take a sack because of poor protection. Also in that group, there's some guys who aren't playing this year, and I want to give a shout-out to them as well. John Daly. Daly was another kid who was tall as a freshman, started out as a receiver. Then they decided that he was going to put some meat on his bones and become a lineman. He was a starting tackle last year. Remember, he got hurt in that culminating week game against Sandy M. Christian, and it's taken him out for the year. But nonetheless, he and some of the other guys that got hurt have been here every single week and been
helping out with practice and doing all the things that those kind of guys can do.
Doing whatever's needed. Also into that camp is Kyle Reese. Reese came on out of nowhere as a junior, became a big defensive playmaker for the Challengers back in the spring, playing defensive back and also seeing some snaps at wide receiver. Did a great job. Was looking for, like John, he was looking forward to a great senior year, but he ended up hurting his shoulder during baseball season. Of course, his big passion is basketball, and hopefully he'll be ready in time.
He is. I got some good news on that front when we get a chance.
All right. And then finally, Reese Barney. Reese, his main passion is hockey. That's not offered at Cascade, so he does that with the Crater Comets. And Reese ended up, he came in as a senior, decided to play. Tall, angular guy. We got the chance to see him play a little bit during his early part of the season, and then he ended up getting hurt, did something to injured his thumb, but like John, like Cody, he's been there every week. Also another guy, don't want to miss him too. Former soccer player, Sammy Hewitt. Sammy was going to play soccer this year, but the boys soccer program not able to field the team. So Samuel, along with sophomore Dylan Westlake, they just been there week in, week out, doing whatever's needed. I don't believe that he's seen a snap all year, but he's having the chance to have the experience of being a part of a football program. We know that there's more to football than just X's and O's. And again, as was mentioned by PA announcer Don Sample earlier, we're appreciative of not only the athletes, the hard work that they put in, but also the coaches that pour into them and the families that support them.
Absolutely, and it's just a great program to be around. It's a great group of coaches that coach these guys, and they all get to be part of a team, and it's a very good experience for the guys, and they make some bonds that last pretty much a lifetime. A lot of these kids will, be friends for their entire life. So it's cool to see them, as the groups pass on each year, go on to college and the other things they do. But I'll tell you what, they remember these years that they have playing football at Cascade.
Well, talking about alumni, appreciation for you and Joel, your son, a former Challenger football, basketball, and baseball player, filling in last week. That was kind of nice to have somebody with that inside knowledge that he could share as far as what this Challenger program does.
Well, and it was fun to do with him, to be honest. We had a good time, and just too bad the Challengers couldn't figure out a way to pull that one out. But tonight they got an opportunity still to get in the playoffs, so hopefully they can get that done.
All right. Well, we're getting ready for the start of tonight's ball game. We're going to be doing the National Anthem. This will give us a chance to break away real quick and recognize our sponsors. And stick around. It's going to be the Bulldogs and the Challengers going toe-to-toe. It's going to be the single wing against the spread. Let's see who comes out on top. We'll be back with more following this timeout.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Please remain standing as we honor America.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with Crispy Crunchy Chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
Power Days at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up with a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from one of our largest inventories ever of new Jeep Cherokee 4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back three-peat truck of the year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get Ram Power Days special pricing on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports. I love my team. I just want to play, but not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.com.
Way to go, Jack.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's senior night here as the Cascade Christian Challengers get set to take on the Sutherland Bulldogs. The Bulldogs representing a little something different than what the Challengers have seen. Talking with defensive coordinator Mike Sean, this will be a single wing team that the Challengers will be up against tonight. And when you look at it, it's like, well, why might a team do an old-fashioned offense? And then you take a look at number 34 for Sutherlin. We're talking about Thomas Mentes. And it's like, well, if you have a weapon like him, you use him.
Yeah, a kid that's probably at least 260. Looks like he's about 6'3". And he's going to be, you're going to have to tackle him around the ankles. You're not going to bring him down trying to grab him around the waist or up on the shoulders. So, Challenger's going to have to stay home tonight. And when you talk about single wing, they'll have handoffs going all different kinds of directions. And if you don't stay home as a defense, if you try to follow the ball, so to speak, it's like playing the old shell game. You can get yourself in trouble. So everybody's got to play their gap. Everybody's got to stay to their assignments. And that's the only way they're going to stop this offense. So it'll be, I'm sure, the first quarter is going to be a little bit of a learning experience because, playing against it in practice is one thing. Playing against it in a real game is totally different. And the Challengers haven't seen a single wing for quite some time.
Indeed. Well, there are other people you have to worry about as well. We're informed by assistant Ryan Sample that Aiden Diaz is another guy that you have to keep on. And it sounds like to Mentes' Thunder, that Diaz is the Lightning.
Yes. And
so he brings that element of speed there. And then also Blake Brown, another running back, is a guy we'll have to keep our eyes on. Then we asked about the quarterback position. Well, how does this team throw the football? And this is a team that will keep you honest.
They will. They'll throw just enough to keep you honest. And right now, they come into this football game ranked number 7 in the state. Looking at their common opponents between who the Challengers have played and who they've played this year. Obviously the league teams are common opponents. They didn't end up playing St. Mary's last week. I think there was a COVID issue there, and St. Mary's couldn't field the team, so they did win that game by forfeit. But they played South Umpqua the week before, the same team that we played last week, and lost 28-26. South Umpqua beat Sutherlin 35-6. Their only other loss was to Warrenton, who's also ranked in the top 10 in 3A. So the teams they've lost to are the better teams they've played, but they've also played some teams like Phoenix, Lakeview, and some other 2A teams. And 4A teams. So they have played a mixed bag in their schedule, just like the Challengers have this year, mostly due to teams like we talked about before, like Brookings Harbor and Douglas, that didn't field teams this year or fielded teams and played a very limited schedule.
Right. Well, and then by the same token, one of the things that I think Challenger fans who find themselves in a situation where they're thinking, well, if they make the playoffs, will they get a home date to start out or not? And one of the things that a Challenger fan has to hope for is that the strength of schedule for Cascade Christian ends up working favorably for them as the Challengers have gone out and played some of the best in the state in terms of Siuslaw and South Umpqua.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't win any of those games, so that it helps to play those teams, and we played them tight. But those victories would have gone a long way. Either one of those teams, if we could have beat one of those teams, we'd be in a much better position than we are right now. But the Challengers need to get into the top 8 of the OSA rankings, which freeze Saturday night at midnight. And if they're in the top 8, they have a pretty good chance of having a home game. Right now, they're ranked number 11 in the state, or number 12. I can't remember which one of those two. And South Umpqua's at number 7. Sutherlin is at number 7. So the best case scenario for the Challengers would be to switch places to get into that number 7 spot, and they might possibly be able to get into one of those home playoff dates. So I think the chances of that happening are not that good. I think it's more than likely the Challengers will be on the road. But they should be, they should still be ranked, somewhere higher than where they are now, which means that the team they play will be very similar in ability, I would think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And, of course, we're sitting here crossing our fingers, and for those of us on this side of the mountains, you know what we're talking about. We see Vail over in eastern Oregon, and I don't think that's a trip that anybody relishes.
Well, the beauty of Vail is that, they're ranked number 8 right now, and, the Challengers, we said number 11. So, if somehow that 8 ends up the Challengers end up with a 9 and they're still at 8, you know what that means.
Right.
A very long trip over to Vail.
Well, and what it essentially means for Cascade is you got to take care of your business tonight. And Sutherland will have a lot to say about whether or not the Challengers will win this ball game. This should be a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. It's going to decide who gets in the playoffs and who doesn't.
Right. Nobody wants it to end tonight. So Sutherland will go ahead and kick it away. That's Owen Beatty. And the Challengers will take it at about the 15-yard line. And it breaks loose from the pack. And a nice return by Brody Sample out there. Nice run. That gives Challengers excellent field position to start the game, and they're in a rare position of having the ball first.
Yeah, about a 30-yard kick return for Sample, and that really sets up the Challengers at the 43.
So the Challengers will come out, and by now, since 2013, the Challengers, their familiar formation now is the spread. Leading the charge is Keith Reed, junior quarterback, with 1,144 yards passing on the year, with 13 TDs, 5 interceptions, and 1,144 yards, completing at about a near 59% percentage with a passer rating of 99, which is pretty darn good for a first-year starter.
Yeah, he's had his moments where he's looked brilliant, and he's had other moments where he's made the wrong reads, but all in all, he's been improving as the season's gone along, and that's what you would love to see from your first-year quarterback.
Keith going to go ahead and take off and run with it. He's across midfield.
Give him 11 yards and a quick Challenger first down.
And he's also the third leading rusher on the team behind Wallace and Sample. And joining him in the backfield, well, actually, he has nobody in the backfield with him at the moment. Cole Shields is in as a tight end. Then we've got the trip receivers out to the left.
Yeah, we've got 2 tight ends right now for the Challengers.
And going in motion is Brody Sample to the right side. And they'll go ahead and go with the fly sweep. Sample finding all kinds of running room, picking up the Challenger first down as he works his way down to the 31.
Yeah, give him a 14-yard gain. So 2 quick first downs, 2 quick over 10-yard runs by the Challengers. 1 on a fly sweep, 1 on a quarterback keeper.
So a lot of credit has to go to that offensive line. Daniel Nearing at center. We mentioned one of those seniors is Bryson Cannon playing tackle. The other senior on that line is Mackenzie Cook. And then they're also joined by Matt Moses as well as Liam Bonatti. 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 35. Reed, empty backfield, as we have Waits and Shields in as tight ends. Taking off and running with it again is Keith Reed. Reed lumbers his way ahead. You know, it may not be the prettiest thing that you ever see him running him with a football, unlike his passes, which are just a thing of beauty, but he's very effective.
He is. A 3rd play for the Challengers and 3 first downs, as each one of them over 10 yards. And that time, Keith Reed picks his way through a couple of defenders and gets that 15 yards on a really nice gain. And so far, the Challengers are able to run the football. Haven't even had an opportunity to throw it yet. 3 plays, 3 first downs.
Split out wide left is Brody Sample. In the slot, outside is Peyton Maurer. Once again, it's going to be Reed with the football. He starts out outside, works his way back in toward the middle, crosses the 10-yard line, all the way down past the 5.
18 yards and another first down, so the Challengers 58 yards already on this drive on 4 plays. Going to be a long night for Sutherlin if they keep doing that to them.
So ordinarily you would see Tristan Wallace in the backfield for Cascade Christian, but again, they're going with 2 tight ends and 3 receivers. That inside slot is Tyler Almacy. And Reed going to go ahead and cut it outside.
And he's
good blocking, and he's in.
He's got a 3-yard touchdown for the Challengers. Keith Reed starts off the scoring the right way, and the Challengers get the football first and take it 61 yards for the touchdown.
My apologies for not getting that break board out of the way earlier. And now we get the scoreboard so you can see things a little bit better. But the Challengers just owning that first drive of the ball game. Reed working his way to the outside and very effective on that opening drive. And obviously, we've never. You'd have to go back to our days of the double wing to find where they ran so much in one series. But obviously,
taking what they're giving them, they got 10 yards to carry at least on every play, and that extra point is good. So the Challengers lead it 7-0 on the 3-yard touchdown run by Keith Reed.
So now the Challengers, after the extra point, good. John L. Scott scoreboard shows the Challengers with an early 7-0 lead. We'll be back after these messages.
Providing students with personal attention, global opportunities to learn and serve, and a supportive community that encourages.
Gather and memories are made. Tap Rock Northwest Grill.
The 2021-22 presenting sports sponsors.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, where the Challengers have taken the early 7-0 lead. You've heard of 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
How about 12 yards in a cloud of dust?
And I tell you what, when can you think of the last time the Challengers had a series like that?
Where they just ran it? No, it's been a while, I tell you what. Probably back to the double wing days, really.
Yeah. You have those games where maybe the quarterback would throw maybe 3 or 4 times in the whole game.
Yeah.
But the Challengers, JT Knobloch Scott, they're going to try the onside kick. And from here, it looks like it's successful. And
more than successful. They're looking to score a touchdown on it.
Oh, my goodness. Who saw that coming?
I certainly didn't. Tyler Almasi recovers the onside kick, picks it up on the run going full speed, and takes it all the way down to the 6-yard line. Unbelievable. He picked it up at about the 49 and ran it all the way down to the 6. So give him a 43-yard kick return on the onside kick. But do we have a flag on the field? What's going on?
No.
It certainly went 10 yards before it was. Oh, okay. So what they're saying, and I guess this must be one of those high school rules, that you cannot advance an onside kick.
Well, no, I'll tell you, we've had a lot of good kickers over the years. The Challengers had Ethan Hoffman stands out. Ben Dunn was a good one. We also had Brandon Williams who could boot the ball well. Jake Booker, a lot of those guys. But I'll tell you, among that pantheon of kickers, I think a real strength for JT, we've seen him do it this year, is his ability to execute on the onside kick.
Yeah, that was a beautifully executed kick. So the Challengers get the ball. They can't advance it, so it goes to the 47-yard line of Sutherlin, but they get it right back. Sutherlin still hasn't ran an offensive play so far in this game.
Reed going to hand the ball to Wallace. Wallace has room up the middle, breaks a tackle. He's across the 20, the 15, the 5. Touchdown, Challengers.
47-yard touchdown run for Wallace. So I tell you what, so far the Challengers look like they got it all going on tonight, and they still haven't thrown the football.
My goodness. So the Cascade Christian Challengers now out in front 13-0. And this has certainly been opening a ball game, a night unlike any other for Cascade in recent vintage.
Well, especially this year, as the Challengers have had some slow first quarters this year so far. So this one is like dynamite compared to what we've seen so far.
JT going to try the point after attempt. It is up and it is good. We have 9:51 to go in the first quarter of play, and the Challengers out in front early. It's 14-0. We'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with crispy, crunchy chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
Back at U.S. Cellular Community Park, Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore and Tristan Wallace. I think he felt a little left out after that first series.
Yeah, he didn't get to touch the ball, even though the Challengers ran it 5 times. So on the 6th chance, he just says, all right, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, and boy, did he ever. And JT, we've been singing his praises as a place kicker, and he puts that one in the end zone. As a matter of fact, he was just at a kicking camp. I'm trying to remember, it was last weekend or the weekend before. But the weekend before, and he went up there, and he won the thing. He nailed a 54-yard field goal, and then they had a kickoff between he and the top punter in camp and the top one of the other top kickers in camp. And obviously the hard work has paid off.
Absolutely.
And as you can see, I mean, you don't often think of a kicker as a weapon in high school, but the Challengers have been fortunate to be able to do that for many years now. On first down.
You saw it, the single wing, and they're going to have different guys carrying that football. And Mentees that time with a couple yards.
Mentees, and they don't give sizes and weights, and I'll forgo my usual rant about those not being listed on rosters, because it's kind of no secret that Mentees is a big guy, you know. But anyway, yeah, he's going to be an arm load for the Challengers tonight. Matter of fact, ideally, you use a lot more than your arms to try to bring him down. And the Bulldogs.
Prey that time up the middle for 3 yards maybe. Looks like it's 3rd and 5.
So the Bulldogs, there's probably no secret about what they would like to try to do, and that is to try to keep that Challenger offense off the field. And what the Challengers have done for themselves is at least spotted themselves a couple of touchdowns. Running play.
And
Bulldogs looking for any kind of room there.
And a loss of a yard that time. Looks like
Diaz
not going much of anywhere. 4th down now for Sutherland.
So that's going to present an interesting decision for the Bulldogs now as they find themselves with a 4th down and 6 at their own 24-yard line.
I don't see unless maybe this is the punter that's in there.
And
ooh,
yeah, you didn't in that position. Just didn't have a whole lot of room to get the kick away, and ended up with a high, short kick that ends up going out of bounds right around the 40, and it's going to be Challenger football with excellent field position.
So 3 and out for Sutherland, and the Challengers get the football right back, and already leading 14-0 here with 7:56 to go in the first quarter. And it couldn't have started much better for the Challengers, that's for sure.
Peyton Maurer getting ready to go out to the right side of the line. Challengers throwing out all kinds of different looks. Now we got trips to the right, which is the wide side of the field. Split wide to the left is Sample. Wallace, who just earlier scored on a touchdown run, getting ready to perhaps take a handoff from Reed, but Reed now going to go ahead and throw his first pass of the ball game, and they're waiting, they're catching, and they're picking up a few yards. There is Brody Sample.
Yeah, he got about 3 yards out of the deal, and that was a check down, looking for Almacy up the field, and didn't. Good coverage that time, actually, by Sutherlin, not open, so he has to check it down to Sample. So 2nd down now and 7 for the Challengers.
Along that line for Sutherland, we see Trent Olson along with Hunter Clark. On 2nd down, Reed finds room to the outside. He keeps running, and ball's tossed out of bounds, and we have a flag on the play.
And they're going to call a blindside block. You saw it right there.
Yeah.
Blindside block, I think, on Tristan Wallace. I don't know about that. I just don't like that call. I mean, he's hitting above the waist. He didn't launch himself or anything. It's football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. But that's what they're going to call. That's what they call these days. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Challengers.
Looking at some of the other defensive starters, we have Josiah Araujo wearing number 1. Also out there is Eli Palm. Then Thomas Mentes, also part of that starting defensive alignment. Austin Rigsby, number 56. Also in there is Enrique Diaz wearing number 33. Aiden Diaz, number 2 at one of the corner spots. Sutherland against the Challengers, who find themselves in a 2nd and 20 back at their own 47. Little pitch play. And running, finding some room, scampering back to the inside is Brody Sample, and we have a flag out at the 46-yard line.
Well, and you know who it is. It's the guy holding up his hands like usual.
That's about the way that usually works.
You can always tell who committed the penalty when he's shaking his head and holding his hands up. So Brody did a little cutback there.
And... yeah, it's like that old song Charlie Brown by the Coasters. Who, me? Yeah, you.
And so the Challengers pick up about, most of the penalty yardage that they got on the previous play, and then unfortunately they're going to go back 10 yards for the holding or illegal or block in the back or whatever they're calling it penalty here. Yeah, it's a block in the back.
What are you talking about? I never did such a thing.
So basically it ends up right back where they were, about 2nd and 22.
On their own 45.
Challengers was 2nd and an acre, but the way they've moved the football tonight, at least so far, has not been a real issue. Cameron Ragu into the ball game. He split out wide to the left. Challengers going tight formation, with the trip receivers in close on the right side. Ragu doing a little bit of a fly sweep look, and he manages to slip one tackler, works his way across midfield, and gets his way down to the 47.
Give him 8 yards, 8 tough yards for the Challengers as he gets it into 3rd and about 15.
Eli Palm making the tackle for Sutherland. So Challengers running into a little bit of problems with penalties.
Well, but you got to figure here, Jim, you don't have to. I mean, this is the area. If you can get about half of this here, you can go for it on 4th down. So
right.
The goal is to get 7, 8, 9 yards here and put yourself in 4th and 5 or 6 because you're going to be in that spot on the field where you might as well go for it.
Austin Waits, one of those 7 Challenger seniors out for football this year, in the slot.
And Getman doesn't like it. He's going to take a timeout.
Timeout called on the field. We will also take one. Challengers leading the ball game 14-0. 5:47 to go in the first quarter of play, and we'll be back after these messages.
And the location of next Friday's football game will be posted Sunday morning on the OS.
You're a coach or plan to be a coach. What kind of coach do you want to be? This?
Hey! What is that? Come on, guys! You're killing me!
Or this?
I love it!
I love what I see. I don't care about the mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Guys making millions of dollars on Sunday, they make mistakes.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.org.
There's a time machine, not so far away, that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide, where wonder rules the day, and families are transformed, from the smallest bug-eyed explorer to that surliest know-it-all. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens, called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
Challengers in a 3rd down and 15. Keith Reed looking right. Pass thrown a little bit low.
But a great catch out there by Maurer.
And you're talking about Peyton Maurer. You got a good long look at him last week in our homecoming game, and he was pretty impressive.
He was. He had a great game, caught everything that was thrown to him. Even that ball, you look at it, was a little bit low, but he figured out a way to catch it. And they got into that situation, like I said, 4th down and about 5. And let's see if the Challengers can pick up the 1st down. Good place for a hard count right here.
And Sample will go in motion. And then Cole Shields will make a move over to the left side of that line. Little pitch play to Sample. Sample crosses the 35-yard line, tries to spin his way forward down to the 31. And Mark,
he's going to get the 1st down. That's the big thing.
He sure did.
He got about 6 yards and picked up the 1st down just by a yard. So nice job that time of knowing where he needed to get to and then getting there.
Well, he came into the game with 172 yards rushing on the season. He came into the season until I think we learned about Tristan Wallace. I was thinking he might be the starting running back this year, but as it is, he's kind of working in that change of pace role and also can do a lot out of that slot receiver position, and he's been a big weapon for Cascade.
Yeah, I kind of like him out in open space. You know, Tristan's a little bit bigger, so the running back suits him a little better, and get Brody out in open space. He's really fast, and he can take advantage of that open space.
Some nice piece of offense there by the Challengers. Wallace taking the handoff, also getting a big helping hand from his blockers out in front of him.
And it's really close to a 1st down. It looks like it is. Are they marking it as a 1st down? Looks like they are. So he picks up 10 yards.
So 4-17, and you can see on that John L. Scott scoreboard, the Challengers up 14-0 in the ball game, but cruising right along.
So far they've rushed for 144 yards unofficially here in the 1st quarter.
1st and 10. Wallace in the backfield, and now in motion is Almacy. Rolling out to his right.
This is coming back, I think. So
and you alertly saw the flag there at the 20-yard line.
I think the Challengers with an illegal formation. I think they covered up one of the receivers or maybe the tight end. It looks like they didn't have enough guys in the backfield, and so they're going to get illegal formation against the Challengers.
Well, you talk about now, we've seen games, Mark, where the Challengers haven't had much in the way of possession, and sometimes time of possession or the amount of plays you run offensively can be overrated. Sometimes you can have the whole ball a whole lot and not really have anything meaningful to show for it. But tonight, the Challengers have dominated in terms of offensive plays, and they got the points to show for it.
Yep, so far it's been all Challengers tonight. And it's been very efficient offensively as they've been able to run the football pretty much at will against this Sutherland defense.
1st and 15. Almacy in motion. And taking the handoff is Wallace. Wallace slips a tackler, gets inside the 20-yard line as he works it down to the 17.
Another 10 yards for Wallace on the run, and the Challenger offense just keeps on trucking. After the penalty, even, they're able to pick up almost 10 yards on that play and make it 2nd and 6.
Yeah, the Challengers have gotten whistled for a couple of violations on the night, but obviously it has not really slowed them down.
No, so far they've been able to overcome just about everything.
2nd and 6. Reed. Rolling right, looking right. He's got a man.
Is that Maurer out there again?
I believe it might be. Yep, Peyton Maurer. So Peyton gets the Challengers closer to pay dirt.
12 yards on the completion and a first down for the Challengers. And, yeah, Peyton Maurer's been catching everything that Keith throws his way.
So first and goal from the 3:46. Challengers up 14-0, but knocking on the door with trip receivers to the left. Brody Sample, accompanied by Peyton Maurer and Tyler Almacy.
And the double tight end look has worked well for the Challengers so far tonight. We see it again here.
Reed looking at a throw, decides to take off and run, and he runs it right up the middle. And it's a touchdown for Cascade Christian.
Keith Reed on the 3-yard touchdown run, and the Challengers just continuing to dominate this football game here in the first quarter. 157 yards unofficially on the ground in the quarter.
And Reed has to have a career high in terms of yardage gained through the ground game.
Yeah, absolutely.
For his short career as a starter. JT Knobloch, point after attempt is good. 3:24 left to go in the first. You see on the John L. Scott scoreboard, it's 21-0 ball game. Table Rock Sports is excited to welcome the Thomason Hospitality Group of Grants Pass and Tap Rock Northwest Grill as a new sponsor. You can also enjoy Thomason Hospitality at Elmer's, Pita Pit, and Human Bean locations throughout Southern Oregon. Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon at 950 Royal Avenue in Medford have a wide range of eye care services for the entire family. Visit eyecaresouthernoregon.com to see how Dr. Brian Mitchell and his team can keep your family's vision clearly focused. Of course, we also want to recognize our sponsors of Challenger Athletics. Those include presenting sponsor George Fox University, and also our platinum sponsors, that includes Metal Masters Heating and Air, Mahar Homes, The Dove, Hart Insurance, Shady Cove Family Dentistry, Cross Country Mortgage with James Beard, and Wilson Equipment. And the Challengers getting ready to kick it away. Mentees out there. And I believe that might be Aiden Diaz back there with them.
Challengers have run 15 offensive plays so far, and Sutherlin just 3.
Knobloch 2 for 2 in terms of putting it in the end zone.
Yep, absolutely.
I got to imagine for him, one of the big keys is just staying injury-free. You just get that part of the game out of your head, and you just play with a little bit more abandon, a little bit more confidence, and we've seen that not only in terms of his ability to kick the football, but also take some snaps at wide receiver, and also, well, he's mixed it up.
Back. He played a little bit of, last week he played a little bit of defensive end, believe it or not. And he was getting some good pressure on the quarterback in the fourth quarter against South Umpqua.
See Brandon Van Moort in there as a linebacker, and Mentees will take it on first down. He'll take it out to the outside. The locomotive works up ahead of steam and picks up a Bulldogs first down.
That's a first down for Sutherland. First and 10 Bulldogs on their
Bringing in the play, coming into the lineup, we see Cameron Hathaway checking in, number 75. Receiver split wide to the right is Waylon McKnight. Slot man on his side is Enrique Diaz. Mentees takes the handoff from Eli Palm.
And he fumbled the football, but I think they said he was already down.
He'll move the football up to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 2 on the play. Challenger defensive starters out there along the line. We have Bryson Cannon along with Liam Benatti over at the other end. Nose tackle is Matt Moses. 2nd down and 8.
Hand off that time to the fullback.
Jeremiah LaPrey with the carry.
Yeah, LaPrey on that little dive play. If you remember the double wing, the Challengers used to love to run that play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and it brings back memories of Challenger fullbacks of old, like Josh Bright and Garrett Banks.
And if you needed a yard or 2 yards, that was it. They could get it almost every time with that little fullback dive.
Bulldogs pick up about a yard on the play. Other Challenger defensive starters in there for Cascade, linebackers. Brendan Van Wart, number 34. Number 2 is Cole Shields.
Yeah, if you look at the Challengers, they're actually playing a 4-4, which you don't see them do.
And we have a flag on the play.
And it looks like it's going to be a false start.
So Palm, the Bulldog quarterback, will make his way over to discuss the next play with the...
Well, we might see him throw here. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 now for the Bulldogs. They haven't thrown one yet. Of course, they've only run 6 plays so far in the game. The Challengers, on the other hand, have run 15. So pretty much the first quarter has been dominated by the Cascade Christian offense, who, remember, they got an onside kick, and that helped. Bulldogs didn't even get a chance to run a play in that possession.
So it leaves the ball at the 31-yard line, 3rd down and 12. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter of the play. Palm under center. He's going to roll out to his right. Has a man. He finds them. Pass is complete. Or
pass intended for Wayne McKnight. Incomplete.
It is incomplete.
Looked like it was complete. I agreed with you, but...
Well, I wonder if he ran out of room on that sideline. Not sure. Well, anyway, at the end of the day, the stripes say it's incomplete. It's 4th down.
He must, yeah, it looked like he had it, but I guess he must have went through his hands, I guess. But they did finally throw one, I guess, for the first time.
Now the Bulldogs in punt formation, and once again, a very high, very short kick. And it'll land at the 47 of Sutherlin. Been a tough night in just about every facet of the game for Sutherlin.
It sure has.
Including the kicking game.
On the Bulldogs 44.
I think both of those punts haven't gone more than 20 yards.
No.
And so the Challengers take over in great field position again at the Bulldog 44.
Well, you know, it's crazy to think, Mark, we know of schools where they don't even bother to kick.
Yeah.
Like Scio coming to mind.
Yep.
It's like they just go for it, and if they don't make it, they turn it over there.
They go on defense.
Reed on 1st down. Passes over to Tyler Almacy. Almacy makes the catch, crosses the 35-yard line, gets it down to the 33.
Yeah, real close to the 1st down. They're going to give it to him, it looks like. So a nice throw on the little tunnel screen to Almacy and give him 11 on the play.
Coming in to tonight's game with 23 catches on the year, leading receiver for the Challengers.
Well, and he's quick and shifty, you know. He's the kind of guy you like to have catching the football from you because he can make yards after the catch.
Reed dropping back quickly. Completes the pass to Sample. Sample takes it. Takes it down to the 23-yard line.
Josiah Arroyo on the stop for the Bulldogs.
And Bulldogs looking for answers in terms of trying to slow this juggernaut down.
Another 1st down for Cascade Christian. And the Challengers the offense has looked the best as it's looked all season.
Well, that'll mark the end of the first quarter of play. On your John L. Scott scoreboard, you see the Challengers 21 and Sutherland nothing. We'll be back after these messages on Table Rock Sports.
Workers' comp claim was denied. Or was it accepted? Now what are you supposed to do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Since 1991, Medford area residents have looked to Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon for vision care for the whole family. Specializing in optometry for adults and children, ECA uses state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to scan for health risks and get your prescription just right. Get your students a comprehensive vision check to ensure they have their best chance to learn and succeed. And look good while you see well. Specialists in our optical boutique have extensive styles on hand or can special order. We hope to see your family at Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon. Visit eyecaresouthern.oregon.com to learn more.
Waiting, even a few days, to report a work injury or illness could cost you everything. But how do you know what you should do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Go, Challengers!
Start of the second quarter, and Mark, pretty telling stat you have for us from the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. The Challengers with total offense of 157 yards on the ground, 47 yards through the air, 204 yards of offense in that first quarter, and Sutherlin with 21 yards all on the ground. Sutherlin ran just 7 plays, and the Challengers ran 17 plays in the quarter.
My goodness. Well, I think the question coming into this ball game is Sutherland came in with a good record, an opportunity tonight to perhaps try to earn some playoff position for themselves and knock the Challengers out of it. But the Challengers, I'd say so far, have supplied with their fans with a no-doubter.
Oh, they've really been on here in the first quarter, both offensively and defensively, and seem very motivated to get Coach Getman back to the playoffs.
And it is Tristan Wallace. He just blows through that hole. Gets across the 15, down towards the 10, as the Challengers are knocking on the door here early in the second quarter.
Yeah, another 14 yards and another first down, and that's the other amazing stat so far. The Challengers have 10 first downs already, 1 minute in, not even 1 minute into the second quarter.
They have been aggressive tonight, and it served them well. Twin receivers to either side. Almacy in motion. Again, the Challengers go to the ground, looking for the end zone. Tristan Wallace, touchdown, Challengers.
And he just ran somebody over at the goal line, and now there's a penalty flag. What's that for?
Well, sometimes things get said at the end of a play.
Yeah, it's probably unsportsmanlike.
Sometimes out of frustration, sometimes
that's
overdoing the celebration.
That's against the Challengers.
Sometimes in that excitement, you get a little carried away and you realize, I really shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, and it's a taunting call against the Challengers. The kick. It says that I think I heard that it's going to be enforced on the kickoff.
Okay. Now the Challengers will attempt the point after. Keith Reed, the holder. Daniel Nearing, the long snapper, and getting ready for the kick is JT Knobloch. Snap is good, placement's good, and the kick, it is good.
Kick is up and good.
11:31 left to go in the first half of play. It's Cascade Christian out on top by a score of 28-0. Stick around. We've got more football coming your way on TableRockSports.net.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherm's is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
Yeah. Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford, Challengers up 28-0 with a penalty against the Challengers for taunting on the touchdown by Wallace. JT will have to kick it from the 25. And end-over-end kick has pretty decent depth on it. It's taken at about the 11-yard line. And taking it for Sutherlin is Waylon McKnight. And McKnight gets the ball out to about the 28-yard line.
It's about a 15-yard return. I tell you what, that was a good kick considering he was kicking it from the 25. It went all the way to the just about the 10. So nice job by JT getting a deep kick even with the extra field length. And Challengers, able to keep the Bulldogs inside their own 30 here to start this possession. They're first in the second quarter.
Bulldogs, their struggles to maintain a drive, well documented thus far here in the ball game. Going in motion is Enrique Diaz. Ball thrown. Ball is picked off by the Challengers. We have a flag on the play, though. Brody Sample with the football as he works his way up the right sideline. Then another one comes in late.
Well, this is going to be a pass interference call. I don't agree with it, but that's what they're going to call. I think their feet got tangled up and Brody, and the receiver fell down, but it looks to me like there's going to be a pass interference call. Let's see what they're going to call here. I think. Let's see.
And actually, from up here, we've been able to hear this official pretty well tonight. So let's see if we can't pick up something from that.
Well, there's two flags. You mentioned it. The second one down on the return. So I don't know what that is. So let's see. It should be, I think, a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, which would put the ball at about the 43 or so. And then we'll see what happens from there.
Okay, so we see the officials over on the far sideline
discussing it with the Sutherland coach. They're probably both fouls are probably on Cascade. They wanted to know which one you want to take. So defense. So there's a blindside block on the return against the Challengers as well as a pass interference penalty against the Challengers. So it is going to be a 15-yard penalty. Only one of those will be enforced. And it will take the ball to about the 43 and give the Sutherland a first down.
So the Bulldogs end up with improved field position out of this. The ball now at their own 43-yard line.
Challengers already with 60 yards in penalties in this game. That's very unusual for them.
It sure is. And it's something that if you're a Challenger coach, you probably don't want to see becoming a trend. And a couple of those are, how do I say this diplomatically, kind of the knuckleheaded variety.
Well, knucklehead variety, and a couple of them are a little bit of a mystery to me, to be honest with you. And looked like we had a little bit of a traffic jam in the backfield.
Yeah, but Enrique Diaz trying to get something out of that, and unfortunately for him, he just nothing there. Challengers close in on it.
Yeah, and Diaz got hit by the quarterback kind of awkwardly there as he was trying to get the handoff. I almost thought he was going to fumble it, but somehow he didn't. No gain really on the play.
So now this will bring up a 2nd down and 11. And we see Palm out wide left and taking off, running with the football. Going out wide, Waylon McKnight.
On the fly sweep, and he gets about 12 yards and a first down. One of their longest plays of the night.
Waylon gets his team into Challenger territory. 10:28 to go in the half. And again, it's Palm out there as a wide receiver, so I wouldn't say it's quite a wildcat type of look, but the Bulldogs kind of switching it up here. And taking off and running with the football is Mentes.
Mentees from the quarterback spot, you saw that, and he just did the quarterback fake the fly sweep and kept it himself and gets 10 yards out of it, and another Sutherland first down.
Kind of bringing back memories of Ronnie Brown and the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Wildcat, that was kind of in vogue in the NFL for a while, and then, well, at that level, it just doesn't work nearly as well. But for Sutherland, they get some good results here as they pick up the first down. Mentees, once again, will take a direct snap, and he'll go ahead and take off and run with it. He'll get out across the 35-yard line down to the 34, and hey, if it works.
Well, they're going to keep doing it, obviously, until you stop it. That's sort of the single wing. That's sort of the idea of it. You just keep pounding the ball, and they pick up 3 yards on that play. And Mendes playing quarterback gives him an extra blocker. The running back can go in front of him and give him an extra blocker at the point of attack. And that's kind of what they're doing here against the Challenger defense.
Single man out wide to the left is McKnight.
Hit the dive back this time. And that's
LaPrey.
Eli Palm hands off to LaPrey.
Give him a yard, I think, on that one. Challenger defense standing up pretty good, really, against that running game so far. Just 3 first downs so far for Sutherland and 47 yards on the ground on 11 plays.
Mentees now joining the backfield by Palman. Once again, they'll give you a lot of different looks before they get it to their guy, and Mentees will take off, takes it out to the edge, gets really close to a first down if he didn't get it. But they say he went out of bounds first, so maybe not quite as much as I thought initially.
Yeah, he gets about 3 yards, but he's still a couple yards short.
But we talked about this part of the field. This is obviously where the Bulldogs will go for it.
Yeah, big opportunity here for that Cascade defense to make a stop and look for something different from Sutherland. Everybody better stay home. Wouldn't be surprised to see something a little different here.
And Mentees, yep, he's going to throw the football, and he finds a man behind the defense.
And it's going to be a touchdown.
And it's a touchdown for Sutherland.
30 yards on the touchdown pass.
Paul Cervantes, the essentially tight end, and he puts Sutherland on the board.
And I told you, you heard it from me first. You know, you got to, in those kind of situations, you got to watch for them making some kind of a different play, and they certainly did there.
The kind of thing that will give Coach Sean gray hair.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cervantes, the tight end, with the 30-yard touchdown.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 here with Mentees in the backfield, as well as Enrique Diaz. And they'll go ahead and give it to McKnight. But I'll tell you what, he is just pounded.
And it's no good.
So the Bulldogs get on the board here with 8:22 left to go in the first half of play. Your John L. Scott scoreboard shows the Challengers 28, the Bulldogs 6. We'll be back after this timeout on Table Rock Sports.
45 years, RVTD has been the way to go in the Rogue Valley. We celebrate others making a difference in our amazing community, like Southern Oregon University and Rogue Community College. SOU and RCC provide accessible, high-quality education for students of all ages and backgrounds, utilizing hands-on learning and community engagement. SOU and RCC work in partnership to help students succeed, creating greater opportunity in the Rogue Valley. Way to go, SOU and RCC!
Gather and memories are made. Tap Rock Northwest Grill.
Sutherland Bulldogs. A nice drive. Gets them 6 points on the board. And you called it, Mark, yeah, that they went with that long enough. And Mentees, I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh, I bet you this guy can throw the football and will catch you napping if you're not careful. And sure enough.
He did.
Kick. And JT Knobloch, awaiting that kick, gets a hand on it. It ends up going out of bounds. Challengers will come out with pretty good field position here. But moving the football with impunity this evening.
Yeah, so far 181 yards rushing for the Challengers on 14 carries, and Keith Reed has not had an incompletion. He's 5 for 5 for 47 yards. So Challenger offense has been the best we've seen it so far this year.
Well, suffice it to say that, especially when you're at the stage in his career that he is, as a relatively, you figure this is his 7th start at quarterback, that it's all about confidence and gaining that confidence, and a game like this will surely help. He'll roll out to his left, look downfield. He's looking for his big guy, Austin Waits.
And Austin with the catch.
It's the interesting thing. Austin is a big guy, provides a nice big target. I wouldn't necessarily think of him as being a gazelle, but it amazes me. He's the team leader in receiving yards per catch on the team. That he just somehow manages to work his way back into that defense, and they lose him, and he'll make you pay.
Well, he's a big target, as you mentioned, so it gives your quarterback something to throw toward.
And the Challengers busting it up the middle. Quarterback Keith Reed showing an offensive burst to move the Challengers into Bulldog territory.
And another first down for the Challengers. That's 12 first downs here in the first half. And the Challengers just continue to move the ball on the ground as well as they go over 200, right at 200 yards with that carry.
Wallace in the backfield with Reed. Twins, right and left for the Challengers. Now, Almacy goes in motion to get that fly sweep look. Looking downfield is Reed, pass complete to Austin Maurer. He has it at the 20-yard line as he works it inside the red zone.
25 yards on the completion, so a nice connection also developing between Maurer and Reed.
Well, with Peyton Maurer, 71 yards on 7 catches last week. He's not really that high up on the offensive leaderboard for catches this year, but he's moving up in a hurry.
Yeah, he certainly is.
He'll be joined on the right side by big Austin Waits, and now Tyler Almacy comes his way. Pass complete to Tyler. He'll make the catch, and he's working his way down toward the end zone. Gets it across the 5, down to, it looks like, about the 2.
Yeah, another 15-yard gain, another first down for Cascade Christian, and they're just ripping off the first downs here in the first half, and the yardage as well.
Challengers thus far with an offensive showcase.
On the Bulldog 4.
First and goal down at the 4-yard line, second quarter. 7:11 to go in the half. And the Challengers once again on the move. Shields in the backfield, but looks like he'll have Wallace in there, maybe as a lead blocker. I'll hand the ball to Shields. Shields going to pound it.
And he gets a touchdown.
He crosses the line, touchdown. Cole Shields.
Touchdown, Cascade.
So a 3-yard run by Shields.
He's done a lot for them from his linebacker spot defensively. I don't think we've really even begun to see what he can do for the Challengers from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, they put him in there in a couple different roles. He's been one of those slot receivers at times, and then he has run the football occasionally from the backfield spot as he did there, and picks up another Challenger touchdown.
Knobloch with the point after attempt. His kick is up, and it is good. 7:05 left to go in the half. It's Cascade Christian 35, Sutherland 6. We'll pause for messages, and then we'll have more football coming up.
Game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
Fuel your daily adventure at my Circle K. Whether it's some Monday motivation to kickstart your day, adding some crunch to your lunch, or feeling up for a road trip, your journey begins with My Circle K, powered by GP Energy.
We didn't need more clowns. All right, Cascade Christian have a good time after scoring the touchdown. The cheerleaders trying to count them off, and scores getting high enough. They're kind of starting to lose count. And meanwhile, we have Jack LaValle up here showing off some of his dance moves as they do that.
Some free entertainment around tonight, that's for sure.
Yes. JT Nawak kicks it away for Cascade, and this one into the end zone. And except for that one kick where he had to kick it from the 25, he's been finding the end zone with little trouble tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been showing off the leg all night. Well, really all season long, and tonight's no exception to that. He's kicking them into the end zone pretty regularly. And now that Challenger defense back out on the field after Sutherlin had a nice drive on their last possession and finished it off with a 30-yard touchdown pass to the tight end, who's kind of snuck out on a 4th and 2 or 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we don't have a height on Cervantes, but he obviously gives the Bulldogs their tallest target. And a pass intercepted. I believe
Cole
that is Shields.
And he's going to run it in for a touchdown.
Cole Shields with the pick 6 for Cascade Christian. Well, if one touchdown's good, two's even better.
There you go, back-to-back touchdowns by Shields as he picks that one off at about the 22-yard line and runs it in for a touchdown.
So Cascade Christian, 41 points on the night, possibly 42 after the kick here, and what a night it's been for Cascade, and just in terms of having everything going their way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knobloch will get ready to kick out of the hold of Reed. And I believe that's Matt Moses as the long snapper. Looks like they're one guy short, so Zachary Mackenzie Cook comes in.
Yeah, you usually want to have 11 when you're trying an extra point.
It's generally a good idea. The kick is up and good.
And the extra point is good.
So the Cascade Christian Challengers leading in this one by a score of 42-6. 6:56 left to go in the first half of play. Challengers coming in with a 3-3 record on the season. Overall, 1-1 in league play, which that 1-1 mark is identical to that of the Bulldogs coming into the ball game. It's great local businesses that keep the games coming for you, like Sherm's Thunderbird and Food for Less, Avista Utilities, and Travel Medford, and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission. Live streams don't happen without our sponsor partners. And we want to thank our sponsors, including title sponsor, the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Superstore on Highway 62, and presenting sponsor, Siskiyou Cellular, with 7 Southern Oregon locations to serve you. Challengers getting ready to kick it away. Getting ready to receive for Sutherlin. We have Waylon McKnight back there along with Thomas Mentees. Knobloch, end over end kick. Ball down to about the 2-yard line.
And it goes into the end zone. So the interception, return for a touchdown, really puts the Challengers in command here. We're not even to halftime, and it's 42-6. And it's just really gone. I mean, we haven't seen the Challengers have one of the games. And Sutherland's not a terrible team.
Oh, no, by no means.
Where everything's gone right for them. And in the first half so far, it's definitely been that way. And the defense back out there, but they have really been tough, the single wing, not really intimidating them at all. As you know, they're kind of used to playing against teams, or at least in the past, Challengers have played against teams that want to run the ball against them. So, you know, they go to this 4-4 look that we've been seeing tonight, and it's very effective against those teams that want to run.
Menzies with the football, manages to keep his feet. Excellent effort. First down yardage and more as he scampers down the sideline across the 40, up past midfield. Thomas Menzies showing us what the Challengers brain trust was concerned about coming into the ball game.
Yeah, he picks up 32 yards on that carry, and the last 20 of them bouncing off of Challengers. And boy, a big run for the Bulldogs, and gives them a first down and puts them in Challenger territory. And you're right, you cannot let a guy like that get going. You've got to tackle him low, or you're going to just bounce off him. And you saw several Challengers trying to get him up high, and you're just not going to be able to do that.
Ball spotted at the 49. And they'll switched up a little bit. I believe that was Jeremiah LePray. Nothing happening on that play. And that'll bring up a second down and 10. Matt Moses making a stop for Cascade Christian.
And Matt Moses right in the middle of that defensive line. And I tell you what, he takes a lot of beating in there, but he just stands his ground and stands up the guy in front of him and makes plays.
Little pitch play by the Bulldogs. Menzies will take it towards the sideline, and you can see there he again shakes off Maurer.
You cannot tackle him up high. See how Maurer tried to tackle him up high? You've got to get down in his legs if you're going to stop him. He picks up another 17 yards there for Sutherlin and another first down on the nice pitch play.
So the Bulldogs, although they're in a rough spot, down by 36 points, nonetheless, you can see the momentum that Sutherland's building. Challengers have to be thankful for that lead at this point.
And that gives, with that run, gives the Bulldogs 100 yards rushing in the first half.
And a lot of that coming here in the second quarter. Well, the quarterback throws it, and it ends up being kind of a little bit of a tug-of-war there.
I think Brody Sample actually helped him catch it by putting his arm in there at just the wrong moment.
Waylon McKnight there.
Looks like 20 yards on the completion.
Looked like a couple of hungry kids at the breakfast table fighting over a loaf of bread.
Yeah, exactly.
And this time, Ed McKnight says, I'll take that. That'll move the football down to the 12-yard line with 5:39 to go in the half. Sutherland with two receivers out to the right. And a quarterback, Eli Palm had no time to do anything. That Challenger penetration was just right there and brings up a loss of at least a couple of yards on the play. And that'll put the ball at the 15-yard line. Timeout called on the field. That'll give us an opportunity to break away. And we'll be back with more coming your way on Table Rock Sports.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, by the way, for you folks in the Challengers family, as I'm listening to Don Sample, I know one of the things that Athletic Director Nate Maben's looking for right now is a public address announcer during basketball season. So if you're gifted with a good voice, or even if you just have a lot of enthusiasm for basketball, give Nate Maben a call over at Cascade Christian High School and ask for the athletics department. Loose ball on the turf, and
Challengers get it.
Menzies had a hard time. You could tell he's kind of trying to get the handle on it, and as he's trying to do so, the Challengers take it away.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, that's one of those situations as a quarterback. Sometimes you just got to fall on the ball and take your lumps. And that's what he probably should have done in that situation. Unfortunately for him, he takes a 10-yard loss, fumbles the football, and the Challengers get it back.
When it rains, it pours. And, I think back to, what was it, it was week 2 in terms of games for the Challengers. So that game against Marist, and this is that game in reverse.
Yeah, absolutely. Challengers get the football back now on their own 25, 1st and 10.
Peyton Maurer going in motion for Cascade over to the left side on 1st down. Reed's going to go ahead and give it up on the ground game. Cameron Ragu, a little shake and bake there as he works his way upfield and gets it up to the 48.
All the way up to the Challenger 48.
That's a 22-yard gain, and Ragu's got some speed. You saw that right there as he bursts through the hole and picks up those 22 yards and another Challenger 1st down.
Sponsors of Challenger Athletics, shout out to Kelly Connect, also Airport Chevrolet, Buick GMC Cadillac, and Diode Laser Concepts, A-plus pools as well. Peyton Maurer, motion man for the Challengers, over to the left side. Reed's looking that way. I don't think he's thrown an incomplete pass tonight, and he'll throw it out there for Al Macy. He streaks down the sideline as he works it down toward the 20. It looks like he'll say he stepped out at the 31.
21 yards on the pass play to Al Macy. And I'll tell you what, the Challenger offense is really firing on all cylinders. Seems like every play that they pull out of the bag is going for 10-plus yards. And that time, Al Macy with some nice speed and some tight-roping ability down the sideline picks up those 21 yards. And now the Challengers over 100 yards passing to go with over 200 yards rushing in this first half.
Reed with Ragu joining him in the backfield. A freshman. Peyton Maurer. Wide right. Almacy in motion. Hand to Ragu. And he bursts through the middle, across the 25, down to the 23.
Yeah, nice 12-yard gain by Ragu, and I love how he hits the hold at full speed, Jim. He is moving when he gets to that hole.
He gets where he's going quickly.
Yes, he does, and some good blocking by that offensive line. He really doesn't get touched till he's 5 or 6 yards down the field, and then he makes a tackler miss and picks up another 4 or 5 yards. And like we said, the Challenger offense looking very good tonight against this Bulldog defense.
Well, it just seems like everything they try is working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reed clapping his hands together. Once again, they'll hand it to Cameron Ragu. He's got plenty of running room. His helmet is taken off, and he scores for the touchdown.
I think that ball's going to come back, though. I don't think he can run it in the end zone after his helmet is ripped off. But I'm trying to figure that out. If they allow it, it's a 19-yard touchdown. If not, the ball comes back to the point at which his helmet was taken off.
Well, you see a little bit of the nonverbal between the white hat and Coach Getman. And with his palm upward, kind of like, I think you're right that this may be coming back, because in a sense the official kind of saying, well, yeah, I know he scored, but we have to bring this back out.
Well, let's see what they do. I'm kind of curious here to see what they do with this, because his helmet came off at about the 8-yard line. You can see the flag laying down there. Mm-hmm. That would be a first down for the Challengers and about a 12-yard gain for Ragu prior to him getting in the end zone for the 19-yard touchdown. And I think they're discussing whether or not the play is dead at that 8-yard spot. So,
well, let's see if we can't crank up a little bit of volume for the explanation. Well, it looks like the next thing is going to be a discussion between the referee and Coach Getman.
And so I think they are going to blow it dead. Yeah, so it's the ball is spotted at the 7. It's a half the distance to the goal penalty against Sutherlin from there, and the Challengers will get the first down. So it's a 12-yard gain for Ragu, and then it's a half the distance to the goal penalty from there.
And you know what Ragu's thinking? I want that touchdown.
Yeah, and it looks like he's not in right now. So
No.
that's kind of sad on his part.
First and goal at the 3 for Cascade. Reed will hand the ball and working his way through and punching it in. Brody Sample, touchdown, Challengers.
Yeah, Brody Sample with the 4-yard touchdown run, and Challengers back on the board again.
And now Ragu comes in for the point after.
Well,
and he's probably saying, that was my touchdown.
Well, that's one of those deals, too. When your helmet comes off, remember, you have to go out of the game. That's a rule.
Oh, yeah,
So they couldn't have him in there, too, on that play. So Brody Sample picks up the touchdown for the Challengers.
Well, I say it all balances out in the end. There will always come some opportunity where...
well, he's only a freshman, so he's going to have plenty of
Plenty more. And the point after attempt by Knobloch is good. It's a 49-6 ball game. We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll have more for you coming up on TableRockSports.net.
Seen a new way to achieve the highest level of savings. Peak Rewards. The Peak Rewards app is your roadmap to savings wherever your journey takes you. Simply by using our mobile app, you can shop for a mountain of savings in any of our convenience stores and fuel up for less. Just download the Peak Rewards app, register, find participating stations and stores near you, and start saving. With Peak Rewards, you can travel further for less. So what are you waiting for? Download Peak Rewards today and find a location near you.
Probably.
We're not quite there yet.
No.
But we're getting close.
Yes, we are.
I tell you what, I don't think anybody's going to want to play us in the playoffs.
No. Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford, Challengers getting ready to kick it away. JT Knobloch Scott getting ready to do that for the Challengers. Recognize our purple sponsors of Challenger Athletics, Reese Electric, Dorner Enterprises, Harry Gerhard's Lighthouse Productions, and Mini Pet Mart. 3:26 left to go in the half, and the Challengers firing on all cylinders. Understatement of the evening. Knobloch. And it's just, it's kind of like a left fielder looking at a home run ball. You just kind of stand there and you go, well, there it goes.
There it goes over my head. Nothing I can do about it.
Yep. So, speaking of, I'm going to have to check in here real quick to see how Game 3 of the World Series, is Game 3? Yeah.
Yes.
But Challengers here looking good in this ball game. And again, the rankings will freeze tomorrow night. And it's at that point we will then have a fix on where the Challengers, assuming this result holds, where they'll end up next week. Palm hands it off on first down. A sea of black closing in on the Bulldog running back. Carrying it is Enrique Diaz.
And Diaz picks up about 5 yards, it looks like, on the play.
And I tell you what, he has had to earn everything he's gotten tonight.
Clock running here, 2:57. You would think Sutherlin would try to get a little more aggressive here, doing something to try and get some more points on the board before halftime.
Diaz in motion. They'll hand the ball. And picking up some first down yardage is Mentes. In the 8th inning, top of the 8th, the Atlanta Braves lead the Houston Astros 1-0.
Wow.
So a pitcher's duel tonight.
Tight one so far.
Yep. Well, it looks like Ian Anderson and a host of relievers after that. 2:24 left to go in the half.
Well, the other games have been sort of high-scoring affairs, so it's about time for a tighter one, I guess.
Well, with their respective pitching staffs, yeah, you figure it would have to happen sooner or later. First down and 10. McKnight in motion. And a short pickup on the play.
It's LaPree again.
And he's right there, right about around the 35-yard line.
Picked up a couple of yards.
bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Brendan Van Wart on the stop.
Brendan Van Wart on the stop for Cascade. Well, I have to find out what the story is. They call him Mendo. And as always, I'm sure there's some story behind it.
There certainly probably is.
But I don't know what it is. Once again, it is the Bulldogs trying to grind out yards. And it Mentees once again.
No gain that time by the Challengers linebackers, doing a good job of sliding over and making a tackle that time, and brings up 3rd down and long now, 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs. And you would think they'd have to pull one of the, some sort of a gadget play out of their bag here.
3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Being 3rd and 8 and the clock running with just 46 seconds left in the half. They don't seem to have a sense of urgency, I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, it tells you a little bit about the concerns they have about trying the passing game
and
against Cascade.
Timeout Sutherlin after wasting 30 seconds off the clock.
So 34 seconds left to go in the first half of play. It is Cascade Christian 49 and the Sutherland Bulldogs 6. Today's game is brought to you in part by the Peak Rewards app by GP Energy. Download the app and save on morning motivation, crunch in your lunch, and fuel for your road trip at our many locations. Peak Rewards from GP Energy. Cascade Christian, I would say first half, Mark, the word I would use to describe the Challengers is aggressive.
Well, aggressive and also precise. I mean, they have, like we've mentioned, everything they've done on offense has been working for them, and we have not seen that this year. So it's, and Keith Reed, I almost hate to mention the fact that I don't think he has an incompletion. He is 9 for 9 tonight for 120 yards.
And it hasn't all been dink and dunk either.
No.
McKnight in motion. Now Mentees is going to go ahead and uncork it. Sample in the neighborhood as Mentees was looking for McKnight. And now that will bring up a 4th down and 8.
Yeah. I was curious to see what it looks like. They're going to punt it here, I think.
Well, it's just at that juncture of the ball game where you almost have to kind of shrug a little bit if you're Sutherland.
And the Challengers are not going to put anybody back. And this punt is straight up in the air.
And it's the 3rd such kick we've seen that way by the Bulldogs.
And the Challengers get it back with 19 seconds to go here in the first half, leading 49-6. And I would suspect some sort of little screen play or something here to see if you can maybe get 20 yards or so and get an opportunity for your field goal kicker. Maybe we'll have to see.
Well, here's something I don't understand, Mark, on the punt plays, and I'm sure that they've got what they feel are perfectly legitimate reasons for doing so, is why it's almost like they want to try to kind of give you the feeling like, well, we might kick it and we might try to run a play or something, but the kicks, I would think the punter is worried about hitting his lineman as he tries to kick it.
Yeah, so the Challenger's going to take a knee here, which that's great.
Yeah.
I like that, and we'll go to halftime.
So time winds down on the first half of play, and the Cascade Christian Challengers firmly in the driver's seat, looking at trying to not only secure a playoff position, but also try to secure as high a place in the rankings as they can possibly get. A home date is not a given. It might even be a little bit on the unlikely side, but they're doing everything they can here, and that is evidenced by the scoreboard, which shows Cascade Christian now leading at halftime by a score of 49-6. Mark will be going to work here on the halftime stats that we'll be bringing your way. Also, we'll have a summary of events from the first half, and that will all be coming your way after we pause for these messages.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Here at halftime, Cascade Christian leading 49-6. And the Challengers cross-country team being recognized. The boys earned a second-place finish at district, and that will qualify them for the state meet that will be a week from tomorrow. And then the Challenger boys, Jake Serrani, ended up repeating as district champion, breezing to a win with a time of 16:08. The Challenger girls ended up finishing 8th out of 10 teams, but it was nice to see them field a full team once again, and some of that was in part due to the contributions of 3 soccer players that kind of did double duty in the fall to not only run with the cross-country program, but play their main sport as well. And so our hats off to Jake Serrani, also to Brandon Parker, Grant Walker, also to James Everett, Austin Skelton, Henry Giomi Brown, and Tayan Landers. All of them doing a great job, and look forward to seeing what they might be able to get done at state next week. St. Mary's will also be coming along to represent the Southern Oregon area. And then talking about girls soccer, they had their senior day game, their season finale just a couple of days ago. And that victory that had been eluding them all season long, well, they got off the schneid and finished in winning fashion. Had 2 Challenger seniors to recognize that day, Katie Erno and Josie Allison. And the Challengers came out with a 4-0 win as Ellie Van Landingham, Bella Williams, Autumn Murray, and Emma Coates all scored the ball game. And Erno supplying 2 of those assists as Gracie Dorner got the clean sheet at goalie. And then the volleyball team, they're in playoff action tomorrow. They'll go ahead and go up to Sandy M. Christian tomorrow to take on the top-seeded Eagles. The 2 teams met up during the regular season, and the Eagles picked up the win that go-around, but tomorrow's a different day. The team has already headed up that direction to get ready for tomorrow's match. So over the course of the weekend, check in over at Challenger Athletics, and we'll have an update on how the Challenger girls performed, as well as a recap of tonight's action between Cascade Christian and Sutherlin in football. Recapping the scoring from the first half, Keith Reed got things started. The Challengers did nothing but run on their opening series, and he capped off the drive with a 3-yard touchdown run, point after attempt by J.T. Knobloch, a good to make it 7-0. Then, well, hey, if it keeps, why mess with a good thing? The next play from scrimmage, after the Challengers were successful on an onside kick, Tristan Wallace took the handoff and scampered in on a 47-yard touchdown run, point after attempt, good by Knobloch to make it 14-0. Then Keith Reed once again, 3-yard touchdown run, point after attempt, good with 3:24 to go in the first, and it was Challengers 21-0. And then Tristan Wallace, well, hey, 1 touchdown's good, 2's even better. Wallace scored on a 10-yard TD run, point after good to make it 28-0. Then in the second quarter, it was Sutherland getting on the board with 8:22 to go in the half. Fullback Thomas Mentes taking direct snaps, essentially functioning as a quarterback, and he throws a 30-yard touchdown pass to Paul Cervantes. The 2-point conversion attempt, no good, and the score is 28-6. Then later on, it is Cole Shields scoring for the Challengers. He comes in on a 3-yard run. Touchdown, a point after attempt, good to make it 35-7. And then it was Shields on a pick six. His 22-yard interception return was good for a touchdown. Point after good to make it 42-7.
Take a breath, Jim.
And then at the end of the half, it was Brody Sample scoring on a 4-yard touchdown run. Point after good to give you our halftime score of 49-6. With all of that to recap, Mark, it looks like you've got the stats ready.
I do, and when you have to read all those touchdowns by the Challengers, it takes you a little while. It gives me some extra time to get the stats done. So in the first half for Sutherland, they had 7 first downs. They ran the ball 21 times for 102 yards on the first half, and passing-wise, they were just 2 for 5 for 50 yards. So passing and rushing for Sutherland, they had 153 yards of offense. They also had 15 yards in returns for 167 yards of total offense for the Sutherland Bulldogs in the first half. Penalties, Sutherland 2 penalties for just 10 yards, so they did a good job in that category, but they also had a fumble to go along with that interception that you mentioned that got returned for a touchdown. So 2 turnovers for Sutherland in the first half, both leading to Cascade Christian Challenger scores. For the Challengers, boy, what a half for the Cascade Christian. They had 15 first downs in that first half. They ran the ball 20 times for 247 yards in the half, which is pretty incredible. Keith Reed having a great game, too. He's 9 for 9, throwing the football for 120 yards. 30 yards in returns for the Challengers. They have 397 yards of offense in the half. Most of the time, we haven't been to that number in a whole game, and the Challengers have it at halftime. Penalties for Cascade Christian, kind of the one blemish in the whole stat sheet for them. They did have 6 penalties for 60 yards in the first half. No fumbles, no interceptions, no turnovers for the Challengers. And those 2 for Sutherland, both turning into Challenger points. And I tell you what, I don't think you can have a better half than what the Challengers did there in that first one.
No, by no means. I suppose when you come into a game like this and you know what's on the line, ideally, if you have set the scenario the way that you want to, you think to yourself, we want to get out early, we want to establish ourselves, we want to get it going, we want to be aggressive, we want to let our opponent know that we're going to put them on the ropes and we're going to keep them there.
Well, and not only that, we want to run the football, because if we can run the football, it sets up everything else. And the Challengers come in with the double tight end and the 3 receiver set, if you noticed in that first possession, and said, look, we're going to run the football. And they ran it right down the field for a touchdown. And, that's a big statement for Cascade Christian, so that then they can come out and, it loosens up all the passing game, because, we've been the Challengers been able to run in that first half. It just loosens up the entire passing game. And Keith Reed then starts throwing, those passes for completions and all those kind of things. So it's fun to see the Challenger offense clicking, because we really haven't seen it this year. I'm hoping they can continue it into the second half, but we'll see. I don't know how long those offensive starters are going to be out there, considering the score. But I tell you what, a great half of football offensively for the Challengers.
Your score at halftime, the Cascade Christian Challengers lead in this ball game 49-6. And again, our tip of the hat to our cross-country team, as they kind of had an opportunity to recognize all the members of that squad, and the boys finishing second and the girls 8th at district, and now the boys go on to state. So we celebrate along with them on that accomplishment. And right now we'll go ahead and go to break, and then we'll get ready for the start of the second half. Your score at halftime, Cascade Christian 49, Sutherland 6. We'll be back following these messages.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherms is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
Workers' comp claim was denied. Or was it accepted? Now what are you supposed to do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Since 1991, Medford area residents have looked to Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon for vision care for the whole family. Specializing in optometry for adults and children, ECA uses state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to scan for health risks and get your prescription just right. Get your students a comprehensive vision check to ensure they have their best chance to learn and succeed. And look good while you see well. Specialists in our optical boutique have extensive styles on hand or can special order. We hope to see your family at Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon. Visit eyecaresouthern.com to learn more.
Waiting, even a few days, to report a work injury or illness could cost you everything. But how do you know what you should do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Seen a new way to achieve the highest level of savings. Peak Rewards. The Peak Rewards app is your roadmap to savings wherever your journey takes you. Simply by using our mobile app, you can shop for a mountain of savings in any of our convenience stores and fuel up for less. Just download the Peak Rewards app, register, find participating stations and stores near you, and start saving. With Peak Rewards, you can travel further for less. So what are you waiting for? Download Peak Rewards today and find a location near you.
And we're back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford, and in a season that has really had some ups and downs for the Challengers, this is one of those up nights for Cascade Christian as they played a dominant first half against the Sutherland Bulldogs. And, you know, if you're a Challenger and you're a Challengers fan, it's the way you want to finish off that regular season. You want to go into the playoffs if you get that opportunity. You want to go in there with a head of steam,
with momentum,
with some momentum and some belief that you can go out and execute against other teams, because as you mentioned before, maybe the strength of schedule may not be the same, but we see with this Bulldog team, and I think part of the problem with them is the snowball started rolling downhill against them, and it became very difficult to recover. But that's a good football team, and but the Challengers are obviously a great half of football, and I'm sure they would look forward to the opportunity to maybe get some snaps in for some of the young guys, the JV players, because we know that Sutherlin won't have a JV game for them. That one of the challenges you can see, and it seems like this is something we've seen all over Oregon, including, well, the fact that Brookings Harbor is not a part of this picture this year, and Douglas has gone through some things, but Sutherland does not have a particularly fully stocked roster. I mean, the Challengers roster at 40 players isn't especially deep, but it looks so compared to some of the other programs we've seen, like Sutherland.
Yeah, and it's one of those deals, too, for the Challengers, though. They do have a JV game that they have to play on Monday, so remember there's a certain number of quarters you got to keep track of and all that. So you may not see a lot of the JV players here in the third quarter, but I would expect to see almost all of them in the fourth.
Matter of fact, as we speak, I see Ashton Moody warming up for Cascade.
Getting that left arm warm.
There you go. And then, as a matter of fact, you were talking about basketball, and there's a lot coming on, and I think it's not a foregone conclusion yet that we know how we're going to handle the broadcast of basketball, but I think there are some things to look forward to as far as the winter sports go for Cascade Christian. Not only the Challengers with 6'10" Austin Maurer and that crew leading the way for the Challenger boys, but also Challenger girls program under new guidance with Josh Robertson taking over the program, longtime assistant over at South Medford, a guy with a real big commitment to youth basketball, AAU basketball, and really getting those players developed before they get to high school.
Well, that's how you develop a good program. You've got to start with that youth program. So great job by him getting that going. And it's going to be, I think the Challenger boys basketball is going to be a very interesting, very fun, very opportunistic year. And when you look at that, too, it's going to be a young team. I mean, Cody Reese will probably be the only senior on the basketball team. So not only will they be decent, very good this year, I would think, they're going to be, even better the following year as some of those players mature and as guys get more opportunities to play at the varsity level. Because there isn't a lot coming back of returning varsity players from last year. There's just Austin and Cody that really played any significant minutes last year. So it's going to be a year that it will depend on how fast they can get up to speed and how well they'll play together. And it'll also depend on who all comes out. That's one thing about the 3A level is it's always interesting, not necessarily everybody that you expect to come out comes out for basketball or for football or for baseball for that matter, because, these guys, there's only there's a limited amount of time for them, and they have to choose which sports they want to be out for. So hopefully we get everybody out, and because I think, one of the things I certainly enjoyed in my high school career was getting an opportunity to play all the different sports. And, might as well go and play as many as you can, as far as I'm concerned, and enjoy yourself, enjoy your opportunities with your teammates and with your friends to get out and do it. And it's fun to do. It's fun to do the football thing on Fridays, fun to do the basketball thing as we go through the season. And not only that, you get an up-close and personal look at somebody who's 6'10", playing basketball is a pretty good player.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the tallest in the history of Challenger basketball, and it will be a treat to watch him continue to develop as a player because he's put all kinds of work in, and that's one of the interesting things you get, the push and pull of being an outstanding athlete in a given sport at the 3A level is that, I'm sure like with a guy like Austin Maurer that there's that desire maybe sometimes to go out and do other sports and stuff like that. But obviously he's very serious about basketball and maybe has opportunities to play beyond this level. And so you kind of have to make that decision. And for everybody, that decision is going to be a little bit different. I think about like the Shawn brothers or like your, like your sons, and thinking about how Joel played a little bit at the college level. It's like, you have that, and so you have some of those guys that will do multiple sports. And then you have other guys that kind of really put their focus on one. The challenging part is for these smaller student bodies like Sutherland and like for Cascade Christian is if you end up with a lot of specialists around, it leaves you shorthanded in terms of athletic depth.
Well, and that's true, and that's generally true at the 3A level. Especially in football, especially in sports where you need larger teams, like soccer, for example. Trying to field, a quality group can be challenging at times for any smaller school. And that's why you want to have your athletes playing all the different sports so you can have that depth.
Well, you have that situation. I was thinking about a game in soccer last spring where we were playing a team that we were up pretty well on, and I think that they were expecting us to take some of our top players out. And it's like, well, we have 2 players hurt. We really don't have a bench.
Yeah,
this is all we got.
You don't have anybody to take out, to put in if you take somebody out. So and that's sometimes the way it is, especially when injuries happen in football. Some of these guys get an opportunity to play as young players strictly because the people that were playing in front of them, have an injury of some sort too, and you kind of get thrown into the fire, and that happens as well as at this level. So Challengers getting ready to kick off. Remember, they got the ball to start the game,
and now Mentees back there, and it looks like that'll end up in the hands of McKnight. And he's going to do a little lateral action. And unfortunately, it looked from here like he had thrown that a little bit forward. And
and you saw the 2 officials throw the flags. And good job by Cascade Christian of covering Keith Reed over there, the quarterback, believe it or not, on kickoff coverage, making a play for the Challengers on the receiver who caught the ball. But it was also a forward pass. So I believe it's going to be a penalty half the distance to the goal from, it looks like, about the 12-yard line. So and that's exactly what they're calling. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to be against Sutherlin, and they'll start inside the 10.
So they'll move that football back, and that's one of the challenges you have when you have somebody throwing the football who's not used to doing that. And maybe if he's just a little off in terms of his accuracy, it ends up going forward. And, well, you have the situation now that the Bulldogs find themselves in back at their own 7-yard line as we start the third quarter. On first down, Challengers swallow it out.
And it's Mentes on the carry. Benatti with the stop. And I tell you what, Liam got a hold of his leg and was not going to let go until other people came and helped. Did a nice job there of getting a hold of him and not letting him go. Looks like he really didn't pick up anything on the play. So 2nd and 10 for Sutherlin.
Ball spotted at the 7-yard line.
And the one thing I've liked about the Challengers in this game is it looks like they're a little bit more physical than we've seen them so far this year.
That's going to be big for them. Let's talk about physicality. Challengers swallow up Mentes as he tries to get out to the edge.
And he loses 4 yards on that play.
Tristan Wallace, part of that linebacking core that has been so solid and so strong for Cascade Christian throughout the year. This really has been a pretty solid group defensively. Now, that resolve got tested in games where, unfortunately, turnovers were a part of the equation. But generally speaking, throughout the season, this group of 11 has been strong.
Defensively, they've been very solid.
Enrique Diaz manages to find a little bit of running room out to the right side, and he gets across the 20-yard line for a Bulldog first down.
Yeah, that's the first big run of his night. And it's a good thing Ragu got him because he might have gone a lot further if Ragu didn't stop him out at about the 21-yard line.
He looked like he wasn't finished.
So Diaz picks up 18 yards on the play.
McKnight, and again with a single wing. We got a wings in tight, and then, as you can see here, a lot of blocking at the point of attack. LaPre there.
Yep, LaPre on the carry.
But he ends up losing, actually, about a yard or two to bring up 2nd and long.
2nd and 11 on the 20-yard line.
So the long night continues for Sutherlin. We'll have Diaz and McKnight split out wide to the left. I'll go ahead and go to the ground.
And Austin waits there on the stop.
So one big guy against another as Mentes takes the carry. He gets it back past the original line of scrimmage. Well, just right about it, actually.
Yeah, really not much of a gain there. Brings up 3rd and 11 now for the Bulldogs.
Very interesting defensive alignment for the Challengers this evening.
It's the 4-4, like we've mentioned. And,
not something you see every day.
No, but against the single wing, that's what they want to do. Unfortunately, Mentes gets outside here.
Mentes breaks off a nice run, gets him up toward midfield, and picks up first down yardage and a whole bunch more for Sutherlin as they're now at midfield.
23 yards on the run, and again, that's the one thing against this offense. You cannot lose the outside containment. And that time the Challengers lose outside containment. Mentes gets outside, picks up to 23 yards and a first down for Sutherlin.
1st and 10 at the Bulldogs' own 43.
Clock running is the good news for the Challengers, though.
They'll hand the ball to Enrique Diaz. He's met initially.
Looks like he got about a yard.
By Jackson Turi back in action tonight.
Oh, that's good news for the Challengers, that's for sure.
I haven't seen him in a while. He went down with an injury a few weeks back, and He was one of those big defensive stoppers early in the season before he got hurt.
Yep. You can definitely use him for the playoffs.
Enrique Diaz, slot receiver to the left. Out wide is McKnight. And whistle blows before the play gets underway.
False start against Sutherlin. The first time tonight that
False start of the Bulldogs.
we've seen a pre-snap penalty that I remember anyway.
Clock winding down with 5:47 to go in the third. And just as sure as anything, Mark, I knew once we got this canopy set up, we wouldn't have to worry about rain this evening.
Yeah, that's the way it works. If we wouldn't have put it up, it'd be pouring.
It'd be torrential right now. Yeah, definitely working our way into later fall, where I'm quite sure this canopy will come in handy down the road.
Yes, it will.
Running play, Palm handing it off and making the carry. There's Lepre.
Lepre on the carry.
Picks up a couple of yards. Sets Sutherland up, though, in third down and 12. But you remember last time it was 3rd and 11. And the Sutherland Bulldogs managed to pick up that first down going around the outside. So, again, if you're Cascade Christian, you've got to turn that running back inside.
Palm under center. And he's going to go ahead and air it out, looking downfield. Overthrows his intended target. McKnight was out there. Coverage by the challengers.
Very good coverage by Sample on the coverage. Very good job out there of staying right with the receiver. 4th down now and 12 for the Bulldogs. I would expect them to punt on their own side of the field, but who knows? Like you said, it's kind of a weird formation that they use when they're going to punt, and we see them sort of in that formation.
Mm-hmm. And get some pressure there from Shields. This is probably one of the better kicks, but
doesn't really take us too good of a bounce for Sutherland. Kind of comes back up the field and then back down the field.
Yeah.
And the challenger's going to get it about the 25, 26-yard line.
Gotta love that artificial turf.
Yeah.
So challengers come out offensively, and it looks like they might mix in a few faces here we haven't seen a lot on offense. JT Knobloch going out as a wide receiver for Cascade Christian. Also into the ball game.
Just trying to make sure they've got enough guys out there, I think, at this point.
There's Zachary, Mackenzie Cook, and then there's Zachary Cook. Zachary Cook wears number 74, and saw him go out there for Cascade Christian.
Tyler Almacy out there, Keith Reed out there. So a mixture of starters and other guys.
And it looks like we might have Sam Hewitt in the ball game.
We do.
Wearing number 30.
They're going to throw him the ball right here.
Makes the catch. And he's driven out of bounds. Now, I got to tell you, and the sideline absolutely goes berserk. The deal you got to know about this is Samuel Hewitt was homeschooled all the way up until last year. Then as a junior, he came out and played with the Challengers in soccer. Went from really just kind of playing backyard variety soccer, learning a whole bunch in a short amount of time. Became one of our guys off the bench for Cascade. And then with no soccer this fall, he's out playing football, and he gets a chance to make a memory tonight.
Yeah, nice catch that time. 10-yard pickup for the first down.
And now we'll hand the ball off. It's Ragu. Ragu's got running room, and a little shift to the right, to the left, and now he is gone. Touchdown, Challengers. Cameron Ragu outruns the posse.
65 yards on the run. I tell you what, that was a nice cut in the middle of the field, and once he breaks away, you are not going to catch him.
It's going to be fun to watch him for the next 3 seasons beyond this one.
Yeah, nice job. Good cut and a big gain for the Challengers and an awesome touchdown, 65 yards.
55-6 with 1:40 left to go in the third quarter of play. Looks like we got Mason Hoffman checking in on special teams. Knobloch doing the kicking. Reed with the hold. And the kick is up, and it's true.
Kick is up and good.
Challengers now lead 56-6.
The third quarter. Cascade 50.
Challengers rolling along in this one. We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll have more coming your way on Table Rock Sports.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with crispy, crunchy chickens, mouth-watering chicken, and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel, so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
Cascade Christian kicking it away, and once again, I'll tell you what, that kid's going to need an ice bath, I think, after all the kicking that he has done this evening.
Extra points, kickoffs. I tell you what, a lot of leg work tonight for him.
And I don't think we're through seeing him. I got the funny feeling as the evening progresses, we'll see some of our reserve players get some opportunities.
I think we're going to see that very shortly. The third quarter's winding down, 50 seconds to go, clock running here because of the running clock after a certain amount of points ahead are the challengers, so the clock will continue to run, not stop now through the end of the game. So I would suspect that once we get into the fourth quarter, we're going to see a lot of the challenger reserves.
I believe I see Ashton Moody in there as a defensive back. And on first down, they'll hand it to McKnight. He's going to go ahead and try the right side and gets a little bit of momentum going and gets it across the 25-yard line out to the 26.
Good tackle by Tyler Almacy out there.
So we're just about ready to wrap it up here for the third quarter.
6 yards, 2nd and 4.
And that'll end the third quarter of play. It's Cascade Christian 56 and the Sutherland Bulldogs 6. We'll be back following these messages on Table Rock Sports.
Power Days at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up with a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from one of our largest inventories ever of new Jeep Cherokee 4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back three-peat truck of the year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get Ram Power Days special pricing on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports, I love my team, I just want to play, but not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.com.
Well, Mark spots a Christian Brem sighting tonight. Christian Brem, part of that team that went undefeated last year and ended up defeating Santiam Christian in the culminating week state championship, if you will, unofficial, so to speak. 2nd and 4 now for the Bulldogs. And I tell you what, he's fighting for every yard, and then the challengers think they may have popped the ball loose. And we have a fumble recovery by Cascade Christian. So now challengers will take it over. We'll have Ashton Moody coming out there and Coach Gatman's victory cigar, Christopher Freilich, in as a wide receiver. Kind of a little running inside joke between two of us. Actually, he's an outstanding young player. Just
Sutherlin 29-yard line.
He's kind of paying his dues right now and getting an opportunity late in the ball game. Also see Bryson Jackson into the ball game alongside Freilich. Moody in the backfield, Ragu with them. Mason Hoffman also into the ball game.
I told you once the quarter ended, then they can get some of these JV guys in and give them a chance to play. And Ragu up the middle, I tell you what, that kid is going to be a heck of a back. 9 yards on first down.
Well, it's like he's on a spring. He's like spring-loaded.
Yep.
You know, you talk about guys in basketball. Is he going to be a basketball guy?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to get, acquainted with all the new incoming freshmen yet. Hopefully. I hope so.
Because I tell you what, this kid can move. I mean, at the very least, you look at that, that's like a guy like that can be a defensive stopper.
Oh, yeah.
Pickup of 9 on the play. Moody clapping his hands together. And he'll go ahead and take off and run with it himself. And he works his way toward the sideline, past the 10-yard line.
Fumbles it, but it goes out of bounds, luckily for him.
He had a nice run in the most recent JV game against South Wamqua for a touchdown. So this is a guy, and you probably know a little bit, at least from the baseball part of it.
He's one of those bulldog kind of kids. You love to see him. He pitched a little bit for us, and tough kid, very athletic. He'll be a nice quarterback once he gets his opportunity.
Well, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he would be the first left-handed quarterback in Challenger history.
Oh, really? There you go. A little bit of trivia there for you.
There you go.
Hands it to Ragu.
And
he goes from the 6 down to the 1, it looks like. 5 yards for him. Brings up 2nd and goal at the half-yard line.
Cameron Ragu getting some carries here in the second half and making an impression. Got all kinds of new faces in there for Cascade. And
Kellen Klecker in at wide receiver over here on one side. I can tell you that, number 4.
Now, if there's a victory cigar on this team.
There it is.
One of the real characters of Cascade Christian High School. We love him.
Absolutely.
With the football.
Moody's going to keep it, and he scores a touchdown.
Ashton Moody.
Touchdown, Cascade. Moody with the
scores the touchdown and puts the Challengers over 60 for the evening. So now the special teams unit comes out for the point after attempt by Knobloch. He's been good on all of his kicks this evening. And actually, Mason Hoffman's going to attempt the point after.
Well, there you go. All right, Mason.
All right.
We're getting everybody in the game here.
That's right. His kick is up.
And he missed it.
And he hooks it.
No good.
So the score with 7:43 left to go in the ball game. It is Cascade Christian 62 and Sutherland 6. We'll return after we take a timeout, and we'll bring you more here on Table Rock Sports.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Yeah, get Keith out of the kickoff coverage.
Yes.
It's a good idea.
You get the feeling that he asked for that. Yep. And now we're back at U.S. Cellular Community Park in Medford. 7:43 left to go in the ball game as JT Knobloch gets ready to kick it away. Do see the second-string quarterback in, though, on the kickoff coverage team.
Yep.
And I think there's also a Samuel Hewitt sighting out there as well on kickoff coverage. End-over-end kick. And it hits the end zone once again. So he hasn't lost any gas there. Definitely he can put endurance among his list of qualities.
There you go. Challengers out on defense here in the fourth quarter, leading 62-6. And I tell you what, all things have gone right tonight for the Challengers. That's for sure. And this game should be a nice piece of momentum going into the playoffs.
7:42 to go. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 20-yard line. In defensively for the Challengers at a corner is Christian Freilich. He's joined back there by Cameron Ragu. And, that's a guy they kind of plug into a lot of different places.
Yeah, and we got a false start, I think. Oh, no, we got offsides.
So a penalty against Cascade, maybe a little bit of more exuberance on the part of our defense.
Guys, some of the guys coming into the game. Clock running 7 minutes now to go in the football game.
And so I kind of see a mix of them. That's the thing with 40 guys. I mean, it's not like you can just put a whole, new team. You can't really platoon like you might say if you're South Medford or something.
Yes, true. You don't have a full second team necessarily.
I mean, almost even the JV guys, almost everybody's really a swing player.
Well, and you see Tristan Wallace still out there.
On 1st down and
Ball's
5.
on the ground.
And a loose ball on the turf. Ragu pleading his case for the Challengers.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out who's got the football, and I don't think anybody knows who's got it, but it looks like the Challengers are coming up with it.
So Cascade Christian Challengers force another turnover. And now they come out, and we start to see some other new faces in the ball game. Looks like Jack Nips is in the ball game. Another one of those colorful characters on the Cascade campus. And they also see out there number 383, Luke Wilson, out as a wide receiver. Hoffman wears number 8, and then we also have Cohen Schmidt, 5'10", 170-pound freshman, wearing number 58. Well, the shotgun is the quarterback, Moody. And they'll go ahead and hand it to Freilich.
On like the fly sweep. Oh, man.
Gets across the 25, down to about the 23.
Give him
about 3 yards maybe on the play. Yeah, and some hard-earned yards at that.
He got tossed around a little bit, that's for sure.
Kellen Klecker also in the ball game. 5'10", about 125 with a couple of bricks in his pocket.
Yeah, at least a couple of bricks.
125, I need more bricks. Ashton Moody reminds me of George Foreman weighing in for a title fight. They weighed him in at 260. He said, 260? I need some dinner.
And you just mentioned Klecker, and he just got a false start.
Oh.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 52. That backs up the Challengers to the 30-yard line.
So it is Zachary Cook in at center. Also in the ball game for the Challengers. Yeah, we see Jack Nips in there. Pretty good, fair-sized underclassman. Twins right and left for receivers.
That's Mason out there, I think, in the slot, right? Yep, it is.
Moody completes it to Klecker. He has it down the sideline, works it down to the 20.
Klecker with a reception.
Pass complete to Kellen Klecker.
It's almost like a running play for the Challengers.
That's right, Kellen. I see you. So I'll bring up a 3rd and manageable for Cascade.
Challengers advance the ball to the 21. 3rd and 4.
And then, so yeah, you'll have Freilich out split wide to the right. Slot on his side is Mason Hoffman. Yep. Receivers to the left are Wilson and Klecker. Moody.
Throw one out to
Freilich.
Nice.
Freilich. Oh, man. Couple of nice moves, and he takes it to the house.
21 yards.
Christopher Freilich. Okay, Christopher, this is how you lose your victory cigar status. I just want you to know that. You end up moving up in the range, and that's a good thing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. And now let me see here. Who else is getting into the kicking act tonight? They have
somebody
we got a left-footed kicker.
Somebody who's left-footed. Is that Moody? No, it's not Moody. Oh.
That kick is blocked. Who is that?
I don't know. Oh, Dylan Westlake?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. It is
Dylan Westlake. He was
goalie in your soccer team.
Yes, he was, and he was a darn good one at that. Got all kinds of hops, and he even boot the ball. Yeah. I really hope, not that I would want to see him being taken away from the football program, but I really hope we do get boys soccer going again next year, because I tell you what, he was something to watch in that position, because he's a little guy, but he is absolutely as fearless as can be. Yeah,
dynamic player.
Yeah. No, he's definitely a difference maker. He's the kind of guy you always want to keep it positive with him and stuff like that. But I mean, you've coached enough soccer yourself to know, Mark, that sometimes playing goalie is like testing bulletproof vests.
Yeah, it's not fun sometimes.
No. And fortunately, the good far outweighed the bad. He felt a little bit like the Maytag repairman in terms of his loneliness. I think it was one game we had last year where he didn't feel the ball the whole game. But on the other hand, there were a couple of games where he really got tested, and he hung in there. He had freed this, Coach Javier to do some different things with Levi Shapiti. End over and kicked by Knobloch, and tell me if you've seen this before.
Yes, we've definitely seen that before.
I tell you what, he's had a night. He's had, there's a lot of positives for takeaway on that, and yeah, to me, I guess that's the positive point of it. And I sure hope that for any Sutherland fans that are watching along the way, this doesn't sound like us having fun at somebody else's expense. But what is fun is in a game like this for the young guys to get in and get a chance to play, because they've worked just as hard as those starters and those big playmakers do, and they get their opportunity to do it and kind of, let's face it, a little bit more laid-back type of situation and get a chance to experience high school football.
At the varsity level, which is a lot different than it is at the JV level.
Yes. Give them some memories they can take with them.
Timeout, Sutherland.
1:55 left to go in the ball game, and it gives me opportunity. The supporters of Challenger Athletics have accounted for more than $72,000 in donations, and a big tip of the cap to the likes of our gold sponsors, such as Trinity Counseling Center, Pronto Print for your digital imaging experts, Precision Electric with pride and craftsmanship, also Adroit Construction Company, Providence Health and Services. Then there's also the Western Lumber Company, Abba Freight Systems, State Farm agent Russell Brown, The Human Being, Conrad Morris Family Trust, Richard Brewster CPA, and the Children and Adolescents Clinic. And a lot of people doing a little bit together adds up to a whole lot, and we're grateful for it.
We absolutely are. It's those people that help the Challengers to have, the different things they need to compete in all the different sports.
Well, it keeps you coaches from having to do what you really don't want to be, and that's fundraisers.
Yep, absolutely.
So the Bulldogs on first down. Of course, I say that knowing that over the years that Coach Brian Morse, in terms of trying to really kind of have that program that's kind of self-sustaining, he's done his fair share of yeoman's work outside the basketball court.
Yep, the Christmas Classic is an example of that happens every year. Raises funds for the Challenger basketball program.
Yeah, and that'll be coming up down the road, and it's coming back better than ever from what I'm hearing.
Well, the new gym is really going to help with that.
Yes, it will.
The gym at the grade school.
Whew, that's a nice place.
It really is.
Second down and 6. And the Bulldogs kind of playing out the string here. And they're finding themselves now in about 3rd and 5. So pick up of about 1 on the play.
Clock running 50 seconds to go here. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pull something out of the bag of tricks here with only 40 seconds to go and see if they can get some more points on the board here at the end.
Well, if nothing else, they've got their fair share of seniors there too, and they're giving them an opportunity to maybe, do something for this night and this season is out. Checking into the Cascade Christian lineup. I see Tristan Wallace in there. Go to the ground game and breaking it loose and picking up first down yardage for Sutherlin is Thomas Mentis.
And he's had a few good carries like that, but they've been few and far between. Challengers have done a good job of keeping him mostly in check.
And the clock winds down. The Cascade Christian Challengers are winners on senior night. Your final score, the Cascade Christian Challengers 68 and the Sutherland Bulldogs 16. With that, the Challengers go to 2-1 on the season, solidifying a second place standing. And, well, it really isn't the Far West League, but some iteration of that at this point. And what it means for them, it'll be playoff time next week, and we'll know more about that following tomorrow. But right now, Challengers will celebrate this win and put it away for the weekend. And what we'll do is we'll take a timeout. When we return, we will have the final stats and a recap of the game following these messages on Table Rock Sports.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Sherm's Thunderbird Market has been serving Southern Oregon for over 50 years. We are thankful and proud to be able to say that our employees are like family, and we certainly couldn't serve Southern Oregon so well without them.
I love my job, and what better place to work than for the people who care about you and your community.
We really are treated more like family rather than just employees.
Our loyal customers make my job fun and more enjoyable.
Sherm's is now hiring. Go to our website to see what positions are available.
Workers' comp claim was denied. Or was it accepted? Now what are you supposed to do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
Since 1991, Medford area residents have looked to Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon for vision care for the whole family. Specializing in optometry for adults and children, ECA uses state-of-the-art diagnostic tools to scan for health risks and get your prescription just right. Get your students a comprehensive vision check to ensure they have their best chance to learn and succeed. And look good while you see well. Specialists in our optical boutique have extensive styles on hand or can special order. We hope to see your family at Eye Care Associates of Southern Oregon. Visit eyecaresouthern.oregon.com to learn more.
Waiting, even a few days, to report a work injury or illness could cost you everything. But how do you know what you should do? Find out for free. Call Schlesinger and de Villeneuve immediately and let us fight for you.
We didn't throw an incompletion tonight. Neither quarterback.
Oh, my goodness.
12 for 12.
Back here at U.S. Cellular Community Park, the Cascade Christian Challengers win 68-6 against the Sutherland Bulldogs. With that, the Challengers await word on what the playoff picture will look like for them, but certainly they've put themselves in a good position here by virtue of their victory, and they made this no doubt a affair from the very beginning. The Challengers committed to the ground game, doing a lot of empty backfield sets, setting up a lot of back blocking for Keith Reed, and without even so much as throwing a pass, Keith Reed scores on the opening series of the ball game on a 3-yard run. Point after attempt by Knobloch is good to make it 7-0. Then, after an onside kick, the Challengers recovered it, and it was Tristan Wallace. On the next play from scrimmage, he scored on a 47-yard touchdown run. Point after good to make it 14-0. Then later in the first quarter, Keith Reed scores on a 3-yard touchdown run. Point after attempt good to make it 21-0. In the second quarter, Tristan Wallace would score his second touchdown of the game, another 10-yard run, and the point after good to make it 28-0. Then with 8:22 to go in the half, Sutherlin gets on the board. It was Thomas Mentes, their fullback, taking a direct snap as a quarterback, throwing to Paul Cervantes, their tight end. The 2-point conversion attempt, no good, but it was 28-6. Then it was Cole Shields with an opportunity out of the backfield. He scored on a 3-yard touchdown run, point after good to make it 35-6. And then Shields would turn right around and score on a pick 6. He would run it in 22 yards for a touchdown. Successful point after made it 42-6. And then it was Brody Sample getting on the scoreboard. 4-yard touchdown run with 3:26 to go in the first half. Point after attempt good to make it 49-6, which was your halftime score. Then in the second half, Cameron Ragu got in the action. He scored on a 65-yard touchdown run. Point after good to make it 56-6. And then it was in the fourth quarter, the JV players got a chance to get some action. Ashton Moody scored on a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 62-6. And the point after attempt by Mason Hoffman, unsuccessful. But then it was Ashton Moody throwing a touchdown pass, I believe his first at the varsity level. 21-yarder to Christopher Freilich. And the point after attempt by Westlake, no good. Your final score, Cascade Christian winning by a score of 68-6.
And statistically is very similar to what you talked about there as far as the Challengers doing a good job, excuse me, both offensively and defensively in this one. Statistically for Sutherland, they had 12 first downs in the game. They ran the ball 34 times for 169 yards. That's about 5 yards a carry, so not terrible for them on the night running the football. Passing, they were just 2 for 6 for 50 yards, and they had an interception that Challengers turned into a touchdown. But just between the 50 yards and the 169, they only had 219 yards of offense on the night. They did have 15 yards in returns to give them a total offense of 234 yards. They had 4 penalties for 20 yards. And they also fumbled the ball twice. So they had a pick 6 and 2 fumbles. So 3 turnovers for the Sutherland Bulldogs in the game certainly didn't help their cause. For the Challengers in the football game, 18 first downs for Cascade Christian. 26 carries for 343 yards on the ground tonight. 13.2 yards a carry. So, my goodness, did they run the football. Between Moody and Keith Reed, the Challengers were 12 for 12 passing for 156 yards. So, between running and passing for Cascade Christian, 499 yards of offense. They also had 30 yards in returns to get the total right over the 500-yard mark at 529 yards on the night. It's been a while since we've had a Challenger team go over 500 yards in offense. And I'll tell you what, the Challengers, and we had a running clock in the second half, and they still made it, so impressive numbers for them tonight offensively. 8 penalties for 70 yards, probably the one bugaboo for the Challengers tonight, but other than that, no fumbles, no turnovers, no interceptions. And the defense, holding Sutherland to just 219 yards in the game. Nice job by Cascade Christian all the way around. And I'll tell you what, has to give them a lot of momentum going into the playoffs.
That's right. And again, tomorrow night, they'll freeze the rankings. Probably sometime on Sunday, if you visit the OSAA website, we'll see those playoff brackets come out. And it's, at this point, really anybody's guess as to where it can land. The Challengers hoping to be within those top 8 seeds. They might get there. Probably not an expectation, though.
There's certainly a possibility for them to end up in the top 8. I would agree with you. It's probably not very likely. But what you really don't want to be is if you want to avoid Vail. I mean, really, that's going to Vail is always a challenge for any team. Depending on the weather over there, and the shape of their football field and everything else, it can be a really challenging place to play. So, I think if the Challengers can avoid Vail. And if they end up somewhere in the top 10, they should have a reasonable away playoff game to go to. And the way they played tonight, I think if you're some other team in the 3A, you're not looking forward to playing a Cascade Christian team.
No. This year, that 4-3 overall record, or the 2-1 conference record, and which has really been another kind of somewhat bizarre year. No real indication of what we know that this team is capable of being. But on the other hand, we see what the coaches' polls are. If we put the power rankings aside for the moment that are done by a computer, I think there are a lot of people that know. Those who know.
Those who know have the Challengers in the top 5. So
I
think that's where they should be. They've got to get more consistent on offense. Tonight they were. They were, and that's the best we've seen.
That's right. Well, plenty of good things to hang their hat on for this evening, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up things here. Your final score, once again, on the John L. Scott scoreboard is the Cascade Christian Challengers 68 and the Sutherland Bulldogs 6. For Mark McLemore and Jared Thomas, our cameraman, I'm Jim McCoy. Have a great evening, and we look forward to being with you again soon.